All right, got this 34 Ford in. Supposedly, we went and had an alignment. Not only did they have it for quite some time, now it pulls to the right. Also, it has a dual quad tunnel ram on a small block. I think he said 327. And we're going to take it down to a low rise dual quad. So we're starting, Jared's under there doing some inspections. We're going to check out some leaks. Going to check out a cruise control issue. And going to check out the alignment. But just an absolutely gorgeous car. The paint job is spot on. He's got moon eyes gauges. You know I dig that.
Chassis is immaculate.
Yeah, like Jared says, the chassis is immaculate. It's all powder coated. Bottom of the car is all painted up.
So far it looks like we got a nylon drain plug washer. Trans pan looks like it was over torqued. The speedo adapter is leaking. We've got a clearance issue right here. And that looks like Dakota Digital stuff for the cruise control.
So we got a few things. But we're gonna get old Lou taken care of here.
The lower link bar is pretty flat, so we can take a measurement of it right now and see if that adjustment got us right.
Okay. $126 and 3/4. 126. We're about a 16th longer on this side.
On this side, I think I can do a half turn. I think a half turn would get it dialed.
Okay. 126. More of a solid 3/4. More of a solid 16th off. I think you're really, I mean, like literally this could be ground just slightly different right here.
I still, yeah.
Dude,
Another half turn.
there isn't a 16th.
No, because you're gonna go back and you're gonna be the same place unless you adjust that side.
No, I'm gonna go another. So we're still a 16th long on this side.
Yeah. Ready?
Yep.
Yeah, you got her.
Yay! Okay, let's double check this side.
Yeah, you're really right on. Alright, guess this is a good time to talk. The difference between a high-rise tunnel ram and this mid-rise is the RPM that it starts to kick ass.
Tunnel rams are great if you like screaming 5,000 to 7,000 RPM. Like they flow so well.
When your tunnel ram comes in, it's fun. Until your tunnel ram comes in, you're not really doing anything. So what RPM do you think? 5 grand, 4 grand?
So that's where they shine. Like they start to wake up around 3,500 or 4.
So that's what our customer was not happy about. He wants it to come in sooner. This mid ram is still not gonna come in right away. No. And a single 4-barrel is always gonna be best on a small block. It's just kind of the way she is. Unless you'd have to be rowdy.
Yeah, if you're not spinning to 7,000, like this setup just...
I'd say a dual quad on a small block, you're full race before it's really working right. However, there's the obvious cool factor, which personally I would have left that sucker right on there. I don't care how it runs.
There are a few things cooler than a tunnel ram.
Big cam tunnel ram. But we're gonna put this new mid ram on there. Our 500 CFMs are going to go back on there. We're just hoping everything fits. There is some differences. There is some things we don't have, like vacuum ports. So we're gonna have to do some stuff here before we can even start putting the intake back on. We also found a very sad distributor in there. Real sad. I would say that would be a most definite performance issue there. I plan to check his plugs and see how this was actually running. And on this upper part, there's actually some loose bolts. I can twist this right out with my hand, and this was a little bit loose here. We also have very cracked plugs. These things don't last long, so if you do have, well, your Eldebrock will have some of these plugs on there, unless if you're the rare case that you actually used all the ports. When these crack, that gets you a vacuum leak. And so I'd replace these. God, you could probably replace them every 6 months with the way the shit rubber is. If they still had a little bit of lead content in the rubber, it would last forever, but why make things last forever? But at any rate, if you've had that Eldebrock on there for 5-10 years and never replaced these, it would like that. Oh, we could we take our brake booster out on one of the backs of the carbs? Yeah. I don't see why not. We could use that, right?
Yeah.
What was the other vacuum? Oh, PCV?
Yeah.
So we need a PCV port, kinda, maybe. I imagine we can just drill and tap one of these sides and do it.
That line with the length difference, we might be able to 90 that line into the back of the front carb.
Oh, and just use both of them?
Yeah.
That seems okay. It's better than drilling on this. Okay, let's do that. So the reason everything can be always interesting, you can see that angle right there. That's not going to work. That bolt needs to go straight in. And then I can't even get this one any closer than that. We don't really have any meat on the edge of this to take off. And I'm kind of checking on what's on the intake. Gonna have to give a little somewhere. We're both staying busy here. Jared's getting the gaskets ready, surfaces ready. I'm grinding down the edge there and grinding into the intake a little bit so that'll fit. And then I had to do a lot over here. It's kind of hard to see on the video, but this used to go straight down and now it's way in there. And you just kind of have to, on this kind of stuff, you got to fill and see how much meat you got there and kind of decide where you're okay with going and where you're going to have to stop. But that's what it's going to take to get this thing to sit in right. And it is tight. Like you can't even really get in there. Even to get the bolt, like the bolt has to be up like that. That's why this area is so taken down, just to even get in there. You know, just because this serpentine setup is for this motor and just because this intake is for this motor doesn't mean everything fits. Aftermarket means it doesn't fit. Anything you change, anything you do, it's not going to fit.
And anything that just worked out, just take that as a win.
Yeah.
But just plan on doing every single thing.
Yeah. You know, that was a little bit of doing. And it's scary. And we don't even know if this stuff will fit, you know. I mean, I'm doing all this stuff on here, not even knowing if this stuff is going to fit, and we're most definitely not returning this to Eldebrock anymore. So that's that. That's that, misters. That's that. All right. We got it back together. Got our new distributor in. New intake on. and got all these little things to fit, which I tell you wasn't easy. Got a little rubber boot on the alternator wire. Cleaned everything as we went. Even put a little wax on the firewall, which got rid of a lot of marks from the plug wires rubbing, whatnot. We don't know if our timing's set correctly yet. I'm sure it needs tuning. We kind of set this up just exactly how it was. Had to shorten up our throttle, but the rest of it was okay. We pulled a couple of plugs and they were looking a little down, so we're going to switch those out. All our little vacuum plugs were bad, so we got all new ones of those on. We're going to change the plugs. We're going to change our oil and change our trans fluid. We're changing the oil because we did the intake, and anything that could have got in there we want to get out. Also, we have a leaking drain plug seal on the trans and the motor. He said he hadn't changed the trans fluid since he got the trans in there, so we'll just do a service on that while it's here. And yeah, his cruise control isn't working. We have to check that still. He's complaining about the dimness of the headlights and tail lights, so we're going to see if we can do anything about that. We're going to do a few things here before we start it up. I want to start it up on the ground for safety.
All it takes is one job, oh yeah. All it takes is one job, and everything is gonna be